Hey everybody, welcome to your HYDROCORE / Hot Pilates / Barefoot Bootcamp workout. This is going to be a fusion fitness workout. Before we get started, I want to break down the bag a little bit because you have to know a little bit of the lingo so that you can have an easy and seamless workout experience. We are going to be doing it without the rope and the ball because I'm going to consider this a level 1 workout. So we're just going to be working with the handles primarily today. So that's first thing you got to know is the handles. Second thing you got to know is the horns of the bag and then the belly of the bag. So you have the handles, the horns, the belly, or the belly, the horns, and the handles. Lastly is the grip. You're either going to do an over grip or you're going to do an under grip, which is pretty self-explanatory. Under is under, over is over, or you can mix it up and go over under. I'm going to consider the hand that is closest to the hip, the primary one to call out first. So this would be over under if we went this way, and this would be over under if we went this way. We are going to get started right away with the HYDROCORE water bag. Start with your feet hip width apart. I'm going to attempt to talk and give you cues as we go along. You're having an over grip, hands on the handles, horns facing down, and we're going to shift and sit. This is going to be considered part of a dynamic warm-up, so it's not too intense. Just start rocking side to side. And I'm going to talk you through the finer points as we move. So you're going to shift the weight by shifting your hips to the opposite foot. The bag will naturally come up. We're going for about 45 seconds because I want you to get used to the feel of the water in the bag and how it's displaced. Your arms are going to stay nice and straight, your shoulders packed down the back, core is tight. Automatically when the bag starts to come up, you're going to start to feel your core contract. So your foot placement, your feet are parallel so you don't twerk the knee, and then your shift and sitting into the opposite hip as the bag comes up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping the over grip, we're going to start to make our way down to the floor. This is a fusion style class, so we're going to use fusion style methods. So horns are going to be facing you. Drop your hips as low as they can go, left hand back, right hand back. Crisscross the ankles, grab the handles of your bag, and then place it on your thigh. We're going to go right into some Pilates drills, starting with spinal articulation, using the bag as a way to gauge our technique. So you're going to lay flat on your back. Your Pilates stance is going to be feet slightly forward of the knees, hip width apart, shoulders down the back. Spine is nice and long. Inhale, belly to ribs. As you exhale, ribs to belly. Inhale at the top, exhale, lower all the way down. So this is your spinal articulation, and this is a good way to warm up the spine using the Pilates method. When you get to the top, make sure your knee, hip, and shoulder are in one line. Exhale, roll it down. You can look at the water in the bag to make sure it stays nice and even, and see how quiet you can keep the water. It's actually a great visual feedback to see how smooth you're moving. Feeling a little bit of weight on the hips so you feel anchored. For 3, 2, and last one, roll it all the way down. Coming into our ab prep, you're going to take the belly of the bag and place it towards the tops of the thighs. Hands go on the belly of the bag. Horns are still facing you. Inhale, prepare. The exhale will drive you up. Hips go towards the heart. And then we just have a little ab crunch. We're here for 45 seconds. This is good because you can feel and use the bag. It has a little bit of a give. You can feel the weight. You can feel your core engage. Your Pilates technique and method. Shoulders are going to be drawn down the back, scapular depression. The exhale drives you up. Short, sharp contraction. We got about 15 seconds to go. For a little bit extra, you can lift the head and shoulders a little bit higher. You are in your C curve. Concentrating on the lower abs, drawing your abs in and up for 3, 2, last 1. You're going to grab the horns of the bag, cross the ankles, and then roll straight up. The bag goes to the top, horns are going to be facing you. We're going to do a little bit of a flow. Turn around, coming into downward facing dog. Pedal the knees out left and right. The feet can stay inside the horns of the bell, which will keep you about hip width apart. We're going to go around the world, kind of doing a little typhoon vinyasa action. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. As you exhale, left foot outside left hand. Rotate towards your right shoulder and drop into Skandasana. Then you're just going to transfer the weight to the top of the mat where the bag is. Coming into your lunge, stepping back into downward dog. Pedal the knees out again, and then one more time. Other side, right leg will come up. Right foot outside right hand, big giant step. Turn, coming into Skandasana on the other side. Left leg is straight, your foot is planted straight down, the knee tracks the toe, spine in line with the shin. Transfer one more time. Stepping back into downward dog. Rolling through. Back to downward dog, two more. Last one. Pushing back. Left leg up, left foot outside, left hand turn. Transfer the weight. Left foot's going to be right foot. Coming into chair pose. As you come into chair pose, you are going to grab your bag. Shoulder slide down the back. Chest is up. Setting the weight in the heels. So that's a key point. Make sure you feel your weight can be in the heels because you're going to use that in about 2 seconds. Pop on up. Adding on, I'm going to turn profile so you can kind of see a better angle. Now we're going to add on a side swing because you're used to having the hands on the handles and you're used to packing your shoulders down the back. Now we're going to shift and sit and imagine we're going to throw the bag to the side. So the idea being, I'm going to talk you through the cueing as we move. So first things first, you have to shift the weight to the opposite leg and sit into the hip. The water is going to start moving dynamically. You can think of it as crashing. You can see it. Now your alignment with your upper body, your torso is going to rotate, and you can just think of it looking towards the bag. Your arms have to stay locked and even. So check this out. The rear shoulder, you're going to plug as if you had a pair of jeans on and you're plugging it into the back pocket. Nice and even, a little more action. You can swing a little bit quicker, but keeping the arms locked. This is a side swing. I'm shifting and sitting into the hip. So shift, sit, shift, sit. The rear shoulder is pulling back a bit more because it's going to want to pull you out of alignment for 3, 2, last one. Now we're going to talk about what we just mentioned, the crash. So we're going to make our way back to the floor. Feet go really wide. So think of doing star pose. Star pose for my yogis or my non-yogis is just a really wide stance, heels in, toes slightly out. You're going to hinge at the hip, push the hips back. The horns of the handle face you. Let's do a little yoga transition. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg high to the sky. Exhale, right foot outside the horns of the bag or your hand. Left foot outside the horns of the hand or your bag. Left hand back, right hand back. You know the transition. Cross your ankles. Hands go to the handle. Belly of the bag on the thigh. And then you're going to lean back. This time we're going to do an active hip action. You can think of your hip punching, and I want the water to crash. So you're going to think of the water crashing up and then lower down. We're going to go for 45 seconds. So you can look how much hip action can you create going from a standstill to up. You can think of this as a hip buck. Imagine spreading the mat apart with your feet. And I'm actively using the hips. I'm not trying to use my hands to cause the water to crash. I'm using the hips. You can really start to feel it. And it's a different feeling because, again, the visual feedback you get, you'll know when you start to drop the energy, get the water to crash, and then settle for 3, 2, 1. You should feel your hamstrings lit up. Now, we're going to go into single leg stretch. Your hands are going to go in the midpoint between the horns and the belly of the bell because we're going to pour some water, my friends. Right leg to tabletop, inhale, prepare, exhale, peel head and shoulders off the mat, left leg go forward, toes in line with forward, and we'll start to switch. This is level 1. The water, you can keep it still. Level 2, we're gonna tilt the water to the right. Now this automatically will engage your core more because the weight is now uneven. Shifting to the left, doesn't matter how much time we spend on the other side, it's good to see if we can outwork the instability of the water. Now we can go side to side. And you can see the water crash and then funnel. I got that little term from Mr. Leo Savage, but the bag also allows for you to easily wrap around the leg for 3, 2, 1. Cross the ankles, rolling up. Adding on to our little flow, you're going to face the bag, and then all you got to do is turn around towards the left shoulder, coming into downward facing dog. We're going to add on to this little mini flow. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left foot outside left hand, big step. Then turn the back foot 90 degree, heel at heel alignment, windmill the right arm up, followed by the left, coming into warrior 2. Real quick on warrior 2, foot placement, knees stacked over ankle, back foot 90 degree, shoulders directly over the hips, open up your arms. Ride the surfboard. Let's talk about that star pose because we're about to use it with the bag. Inhale, coming into star pose, heels in, toes out. Now you can also turn your feet parallel. Take a big inhale right here. As you exhale, open up, coming into warrior 2 on the right hand side. We're going to throw a vinyasa into the mix, knees stacked over the ankle. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, windmill the arms straight down. Step back, plank position, lean forward, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hop, jump, or step your feet outside the hands. Feet really wide. Knees tracking the toes, feet completely parallel. Hands go to the handle. Stand on up. Okay, we're adding on. We talked about that star pose, so you're gonna take a really wide stance. I want your feet parallel, if possible, but you can turn your toes out slightly if you need to. I'm gonna start this way so you can see. Show shoulders down the back. We are going to pull and punch. So you're going to go from a swing to a clean. Here's what it looks like from the front, swing to clean. So you have a pull and a punch. You're going to hinge, flip the bag, swing, pull, punch. Make a little platform with your arms as if you're catching a bag full of water. So this action right here, my arms, I'm going to do a little pop, swing back, pull, punch underneath. Your hands are going to be on an over grip, and we're going for about 40 seconds. Now we can start off casual, meaning like I'm going to keep it calm. From this position, your shoulders stay down the back. You're going to flip the bag by popping the arms and the shoulders, swing, pull, punch. So on the retraction, I'm pulling and punching underneath the bag. Sit the hips back, both at the same time, feet parallel. Shift, sit, pull, punch. Shift, sit, pull, punch. Imagine you're putting your butt on the back of the wall. The horns of the handle are going to flip away from you and then come towards you. Last 10 seconds, you want a little more activity. Make the water crash. You can soften the stance as you catch it for 3, 2, crash it. Good. Now we're going to calm things down. Bring your feet about shoulder width apart, toes and knees parallel. Plug the shoulders down the back, keep the chest up. Puff chest. Press the hips back slightly, fight to keep the chest vertical, and we're going to work for 45 seconds, keeping the water still. We will add a variation though in about 10 seconds. So your job is to keep the water balanced and then perfectly still. We have about 30 seconds. So you can look to see where you might be losing tension or losing power if the water starts to shift to one direction or another direction. Now, last 10 seconds, I want you to keep it still and then crash. Still, crash. And you'll see how much action you can give because the water will tell you, are you splashing it to the top? Ooh, for 3, 2, 1. This time you're gonna stay low. That flip action, so when you're coming from your clean or rack position, the flip happens with the arms and the shoulders. Imagine punching or shoving it off you, just like so. This time, the horns are gonna face you. Plant the hands, crisscross the ankles. We're gonna transition back to the floor. We have 2 more rounds to go that involve Pilates and yoga, and 2 more rounds to go with this guy. Place it on the thigh, lean back. Okay, this time, hands go on the horns. Water goes straight up. Pilates stance, feet slightly forward to the knees. Inhale, belly to ribs. Exhale, ribs to belly, press the hips up. And we're gonna go to our marching. Left leg goes forward, toes in line with the knee and in the hip. Now, see if you can keep the water still. We're gonna add on a challenge. You can start to play with the dynamics of the bag by shifting the weight to one side. This will automatically cause your core to engage a little bit more because, again, you want to outwork that instability. I'm still keeping my legs quiet. I can go from side to side, loading up the glute and the hamstring. And you can see where you might need to press down a little bit more in the foot or press the hip up to keep it balanced. For 3, 2, last one, lower all the way down. This time the hands stay on to the handles. So you're just gonna shift it and we're gonna flip it. So you have an over grip, flip the bag. So the horns are gonna be facing you. Both legs come to tabletop. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, head and shoulders peel off the mat. You'll have 45 seconds, double leg stretch. This is your modification. Just my legs are going out. For more advanced, inhale, arms and legs reach. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If you're looking for more challenge, biceps go in line with the ears, but keep your Pilates technique, hips to heart. Stay in C curve. Inhale to exhale. Keeping the head and shoulders lifted. The slower you go, the more muscle fibers you're going to recruit. For 3, 2, 1. Hang on with this grip. You're going to rock and roll up. This time the horns of the bag are going to face away from you. Adding on a little bit to the flow, turn around, downward facing dog. Pedal the knees out left and right, left leg up. This time, left foot step between the hands. Windmill arms up, coming into your warrior 2 on the left side. Flip your left palm, inhale, reach, up and back, reversing the warrior. This is more of a dynamic stretch. Inhale, come through into star pose. Heels in, toes slightly out. Toes face the bag, knees stacked over the ankle. Warrior 2. Flip your right palm, reach forward, and then reach up and back. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, windmill your arms down. Left hand, right hand, step back. Lean forward, lower down halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hop the feet outside the hands. Hands over grip. We are now going to go to a side swing to clean. Now check this out. You can have it so that this is facing away from you, but that means when you go to flip it, it might land on you. So if that's an issue, just flip it on over. Starting with the side swing. Now remember, the shift, sit, arms stay locked, pulling the rear shoulder back. So this shoulder is gonna pull back and sink into the opposite hip to the bag. We're gonna start side to side. I'm gonna turn this way so you can see. This is your prep movement. Now we're gonna go from a side swing to a side clean on the right. That makes sense. You're making the shelf with the arms. Fingers are open. You're going to rotate to the left, back to the right, and then flip, catch, rotate, rotate. Again, swing, swing, clean, catch, rotate, rotate. You have about 20 seconds to go. And if you want it to crash, let it be crashful, and then let it be still. That is a word. Crashful is a bit like playful. 15 seconds remaining. Pull, punch, catch, crash, crash. I'm doing this by rotating the torso, catch. Completely rotate the torso, shift and sit. Rotate your torso to the right, shift and sit. Last one, catch, shift and sit. Shift and sit, hold on to the bag. You're gonna shift your weight to the left now. I'm gonna turn. So you have a different vantage point. We're gonna go for 45 seconds. Now we're gonna clean, side swing and clean on the left with a rotation in the middle. So swing, clean, catch. And that flip, so that flip, you gotta make sure you keep your shoulders packed, let it swing in front. And again, swing, swing, clean, crash, crash. Then keep it still, swing, shoulders stay even, shift, sit, catch, crash, crash. So you can test how powerfully you're rotating. Swing, swing, for 3, 2, and time. Keeping the bag completely still, drop it all the way down. Flip the bag. The horns can face you. Coming in for an easy cool down. So that was a little bit of an intro to the water bag. I hope, at the very least, you found that the workout is very unique. It's very forgiving because if you hit yourself with this, it's fine because it's not a mace belt, club belt, or a dumbbell, or a sandbag even, because sometimes sandbags can leave an impact. This one's very forgiving. It's very interesting because of the visual feedback you get. You can see when you're making it crash or making it be still. And you can also play with the displacement of the weight in different drills that you can't do with a dumbbell, a sandbag, or anything like that because it's so fluid. So it's perfect for fusion fitness workouts. Doing a little cool down. Left leg is going to be long, right sole of the foot on the inside of the thigh. Plant your right palm, right hand. Left arm is going to swoop up and over. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, lower down. Right arm is going to reach up and over. We'll do 2 more of those. This is more of a dynamic stretch, working from one range of motion all the way to the other, seeing if you can get to the end range, but you're not dwelling there. You're moving through it, freeing up the fascia, switching, other side. Left sole of the foot, inner thigh, right leg is long, plant the left hand, pretty much in line with the rear hip, pressing up, take a big inhale. As you exhale, drop it, reach, up and over, plant, inhale. Exhale, drop, reach. Last one, big inhale. Working for a full range of motion. So I'm really thinking circular, linear, all the sacred geometry terminology. Okay, so that was the HYDROCORE water bag combined with a little bit of Pilates, a little bit of yoga, obviously fusion fitness, but I really love it, I enjoy it. For the most part, you can do a lot without the rope and the ball, but later on we will introduce that as well. But then things get a little more nuanced and sophisticated. One thing to think about your workouts, and this is something that we definitely adhere to at Vibe Yoga and Fitness, teaching Fusion Fitness, is that don't get stuck, right? So be more like water, where in the world there's different cultures, different ways of moving and working out, and consider that to be software. So you have hardware, you have legs, arms, you have muscles, you have tissue, but there's all this software out there that you can learn and you can integrate into your own style of movement. So this is just software that was developed and created right here in the United States. And just like the kettlebell is software, and mace bell is software, and primal play is software, you can learn all these things and continually upgrade yourself and have fun working out. Thank you so much for allowing me to teach. Namaste.